All right, hello there, people of the internet. My name is Jagero, and this is Dialogues with Jagero. I am so happy to be, talking to a lady that I find her story very, very inspiring. She's all the way from London, and I don't know. How are you doing, Regina?
Oh, I'm fine. Thank you so much, and I'm honored to be here at Jagero studio.
For how long have you been watching Jagero?
I've been watching Jagero for maybe 2-3 months.
2-3 months.
And people recommended you to be the right person to introduce me to Kenya.
To introduce you to Kenya?
I'm so proud.
But you're Kenyan, right?
To introduce me the first time into the media. Yes.
Oh, okay. Great. The name Regina sounds good, but who is Williams?
Wow. Williams is my dad was William. And I decided to add S. So I changed my name by Depot. So many times people think I have an English husband called Williams.
Yeah.
But actually, my partner is English, but it's called Vincent. So Williams is my name that we changed our names in 1996. So my kids and myself, we are Williams.
You're Williams?
Yes, you can change your name. Yeah.
I'm called Ludur Jagero, but if you go to my M-Pesa, you'll find something that's different.
Exactly.
I think people, why did you change?
Well, I changed my names because I just wanted it to be a way that, when, I don't know how I can put this, but my kids had our surnames and they didn't like them.
The surnames?
My children didn't like the surnames.
The
way the other kids pronounce it in school, the kids didn't like. I say, oh, we are going to change our names. Really, there was nothing big. We just changed our names. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There is a story that you're talking about here, and you're going to be talking about your book, but I find it very inspiring because I've never actually met somebody, a woman that was circumcised.
Oh, really?
No, I've never met one.
Oh, in Kisi, we circumcise. Circumcision is a passage that you have to pass in Kisi. From childhood, you're now a woman when you become circumcised. So, and if you don't get circumcised, actually you're bullied in community. But for my case, I got circumcised. My mom didn't want us to be circumcised, but my sister hid me and I got circumcised. And she did it out of love, because if I was not circumcised, I was going to be an outcast in community. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to read something here that is very interesting. People of the internet. This is Regina writing in her book that when it was my turn, I struggled, I fought, and I screamed. The terror of that burning, piercing pain stays with me even today, half a century later. There was no anesthesia, just the knife. When we bled, they patched us up with a paste made from millet flour. The blade pierced the skin, cutting deep into us, and then we waited for the rest of the girls to be done. Yet, like the others, I had to do it. The pain enveloped me. Then all I wanted was for it to stop, nothing else. I just wanted it to stop. I cried and even attempted to run away, half cut, with blood running down my legs, wishing that my mom was there to rescue me. But she was not there, nor was my sister. I remember running away and standing far from the woman who was cutting me, crying, my hands folded around my chest, cold and shivering, until they begged me to come back to sit down and have the procedure finished. So a lot of, right now, if you listen to people, they talk very much against circumcision for women. It appears to me that you are not entirely opposed to it. I don't know whether you're opposed to it, but I think that you understand where they're coming from. So what was the reason why the Kisii women would be circumcised? What were the reasons? I want to ask you that, and then I will ask you to talk to me through how the circumcision is done. Because in the book you talk about 4 ways, right?
Yeah.
4, is it called 4 ways? No, the 4 phases.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So why is it that the women are circumcised in Kisii community?
You know, this is a traditional thing, and actually it has got no biological reason why we should be circumcised. I am against circumcision because it shouldn't happen at all to the girls, but a tradition which has gone from generation to generation. It's an emotional thing, and I'm actually now a campaign against FGM for girls. So they do it because they tell you that for you to be married, to get a husband, you got to be circumcised. If you're not circumcised, it's a sign of cowardness. But we know now, I know, that that's not true. Why they're doing this thing is a traditional thing, but again, it's a selfish thing to do. There is medical background which have shown that women who are circumcised, their reproductive system is affected. Most of them, they have children through cesarean section because their parts have been cut. And now there is the skin, when they were cut, when they were tender like that, the skin doesn't expand. Yeah? For example, in my family, we had problem. All my sisters who were circumcised, they have children through cesarean section. And the other things, some children bleed even to death during circumcision. So you can imagine you're being circumcised and the bleeding is being stopped by the millet flour. And you're being circumcised by an old lady in the village who has no gloves. So we're talking about germs, who has no knowledge on reproductive system and the reproductive parts. But I think, and this is me thinking, and through my own knowledge on biology, whatever they remove from girls is the most sensitive part of the sexual reproduction. Is the part that makes even sexual pleasure good. So they are cutting this. I think from the beginning, they knew that, and they wanted to stop the women's sexual pleasures so that they don't go out looking for men or just do funny things. I think that's the reason. Yes. But then traditionally, is you're moving from girl to become a woman, which is so wrong.
Why do you think your mother was against this? Because in the story, you say that your mother did not want you to do this, but your sister is the one that decided that perhaps she must do this.
Yes. My mom was a Christian, a staunch Catholic. She does not believe in this circumcision stuff. She doesn't believe in FGM at all. And so she believes that, you are born and God was perfect. She doesn't believe that you got to be cut. Yes, simply that. And she was a campaigner. My mom has passed away now. She was a campaigner in the village, overseeing those who are taking girls to be circumcised and reporting them to the chief.
The chiefs at that point there was word that it is against, because So, but the chief was a Kisi, and so how would he be against? How would he arrest people that are circumcising these girls?
No, the time my mom became a leader against circumcision, it was late after the year 2000. Yeah, the time I was circumcised, she was just against this thing, based on Christianity. But later, around 2006, Kenya's passed a law that circumcision is not allowed in Kenya as well. And so, who is in the community who understands this? My mom was one of them, campaigning against that. And if she saw people circumcising girls, she would report them to the chief.
I don't know about the Kisi community. I don't know, because if you go to the Luo, we have so many parts of Luo. So we have a Lego Luo, we have, the southern part of Luo, there is the central Luo.
Yes.
There is Uyoma, and so on and so forth. The only thing that I know about Kisi, I hear about not Bukusu, but Gusi. I hear Nyamira. I hear. Do you have sub-tribes in Kisi?
No, I think Kisi is Kisi. I left Kisi about 4 years, nearly 40 years now. And I just finished Form 6, so I did not know too much, but now I know. In Kisi, we have one language, but the pronunciation, the way people pronounce words.
Okay.
But the Kisi, we don't have, we have like South Mogrango, Keroka, Kisi,
Yes.
Machoge, and all those people. But those are Kisis, they speak Kisi.
But they have got a little bit of differences.
I think, they've got little things of differences. Like where my homeland is an area, it's called Borabu, means Borabu, where the white people settled, Bosongo, where the white people settled.
Which county, which constituency do you come from?
I think West Kitutu.
West Kitutu, Masaba.
Yeah. No, not Masaba. West
so Kitutu is different from Masaba.
Masaba is still sites of Keroka. Kisi.
But we have something in politics that I always hear, Kitutu Masaba.
I don't know how they have divided these constituencies. Kisi Central is my home. And so when I left Kenya, my home was West Kitutu. West Kitutu is my constituency. So I don't know where that goes up to Masaba. Masaba is Keroka areas, isn't it?
But in politics, I hear a lot about, people of the internet will tell us about what it actually means.
Yes.
So, but tell me the day, I want you to walk us through that day of circumcision, the day before, 2 days before.
Yes.
How do you remember it?
The way I remember it, because I think I was young, I was under 10. In the evening, we sleep in a house together with girls, a group of girls who are going to circumcise. But because my mom was against this, I was in my home. I didn't go to the group which was going to be circumcised. So the day before, I am there and my mom sleeps, and me and my sister wake up and go to join the girls when my mom is asleep. So very early in the morning, before my mom can wake up, we are going to be circumcised. It's going to be in somewhere outside the compound, somewhere where the old lady circumcises people, and it's going to be under a tree, and there's a stone that you will sit. So we went there, and I want to make it very clear that even though my sister hid me, it was out of love. These things are done out of love, but there's no love in it because people don't know. It's not love, it's hurting. We go there. So by the time the people wake up, because they believe that the morning dew, the very, very early morning, it's acting as anesthetic. It numbs your body. You are going without clothes. And then you put a line. One will be cut, stand there. Another one will be cut, stand there. Another one will be cut, stand there. After all these cuttings have been done, now you'll be
with the same instrument.
Yes. Yes, that's why. This is why I'm against this thing. The person circumcising is not a nurse, it's not anything. It's an old woman in the village. A woman who would be maybe even 70 cannot see where she's going to cut. This is not something done by a young person. This is a traditional thing. This is something where there are no gloves. An old lady is going in with her fingers, no gloves, to cut what she wants to cut what she knows she has been cutting all the time. So we'll be cut, stand there, and wait until all of us have been cut. When all of us have been cut, now it's good news. All the women who are with that one, they will gather together and start singing nice songs to bring you home. And if you have been cut as well, you are happy. You are happy because now you are not an outcast in the community. You are going to be respected. And you'll be taken home. They will take each person to their home, and it's a celebration. Tea, bread, all this. You know, those things that time, especially me from extreme background, poverty. So that time you'll have maybe tea and bread and all that. But at that time, when you reach to your compound, you'll be put into the house, your room, and you'll not be seen until you have recovered. You'll not come out, people are not supposed to be seeing you.
Do you remember, because I am thinking in my head
Yes.
that this is a reproductive organ that has been cut and seared off, what are some of the things that they were doing to you girls to make sure that there is proper healing, there is no infection, people are being washed thoroughly? What were they doing? What do you know that they do?
No,
today?
they don't do anything. Once you've been cut, nature is supposed to take part, to take its own course. There is no aftercare. Aftercare is just food for you to eat in the house. There is nobody who thinks about infections. No. You stay there until you recover. It's a wound which is going to recover. So if you get infected, it's just bad for you.
They don't take you to the hospital? There is nothing?
No, there is nothing. As far as I know, for my part, there was nothing. So, you know, circumcision is a thing which is done traditionally. You can bleed it to death. Yes. I know other tribes here in Kenya, for example, when they take their, I don't want to mention the name of the tribe, but I've researched because I'm against FGM now. Some tribes will take children to the forest, like I said. If somebody starts bleeding and they're bleeding heavy, they will not be taken home. They'll be left in the forest. I'm talking about long, long ago. I hope they are not doing it now. Somebody will be left in the forest to die, and the rest will go home. This is a practice that should actually stop. Yes.
In your book, you talk about the phases.
Yes.
So the first phase is actually the cut that happens early in the morning.
The first phase.
Your mother, you tell me that was against this, but when she realized that you guys had actually sneaked in the wee hours of the night and joined the other girls and got cut, what did she tell you when you came back?
So my mother realized in the morning that I've been cut, and because she didn't prepare, so the people coming home, they're not going to have anything to eat because, for example, my mom was not for this. So when she realized this, there is nothing she could do. In Kiswahili we say maziwa yakimwagika yamemwagika hayachoteki. So it has already been done. My mom was very sad about it, and she was annoyed with my sister. What is she going to do? I've been circumcised. So now she had got to cope with it.
The second phase is called Esukuta. The Esukuta ceremony was the next event taking place 2 weeks after circumcision.
Esukuta is it's called Esuguta.
Esuguta.
Esuguta is a grass that we go. You know the brooms for sweeping the house.
Okay.
That grass which you see in the market. So that is uprooted from the place, from the garden somewhere, and is brought in the house, is planted. When you wash your hands to eat, you'll be washing on top of your Esuguta. It's supposed to be growing so that people can see that you are doing well. These are all traditions of men. It don't mean anything. So we get that suguta, we put it there, people have porridge and everything, and that's fermented porridge with sugar. That's a big celebration. The neighbors will come and have porridge. When people have porridge with sugar at that time, it's great. When the neighbors know there is a suguta somewhere, they just go because they want to drink fermented porridge with sugar.
And so it's just a celebration of welcoming you guys. It's another sort of initiation?
Esuguta. No, Esuguta now is showing that you are recovering as well, and you are waiting for the next phase. You're recovering, is waiting for the next phase.
They are assuming that you're recovering. Are they physically checking how you are doing?
No,
how the reproductive
I
organism?
I can't remember anybody looking there. Are you okay? Nothing.
So it's an assumption that you're recovering.
It's just an assumption. I'm telling you, it's an assumption. And it is happening these days still in places. Even in Kisi, they are doing secretly. Those traditions right in the village, they are doing this thing secretly. Even in London, they are doing something like this.
In London, people are cutting girls in London.
I am an FGM advocate. People are cutting people even in London, and it's not necessarily from Kenya, but from other countries. And there are those who practice and cut children when they are babies. And babies are dying as well.
That is terrible.
I have to tell you this. This circumcision is not Kisi. It's not these other tribes in Kenya. It's a global thing. It's happening in Asia. Yeah? It's happening in South America. It's happening in Europe.
In Europe?
Yes. I'm from London. Circumcision. Children are being taken out of school, told they are going on a long holiday. And then they are taken either back here to Africa or to another part of Africa, not necessarily Kenya, other countries in Africa to be circumcised. Circumcision is going on. That's why I'm campaigning against circumcision. Asia, circumcision is happening in Asia. Yes.
And what we are talking about here is the circumcision of girls.
We're talking about circumcision of girls. We're talking about FGM, female genital mutilation. It's going on. It's going on. And that's something that should stop. Yes.
The third phase is Chinyangi. I don't know how you pronounce this.
Chinyangi, you have just said it nicely. Chinyangi is like, the name is, if I say Enyangi, it's a wedding.
Okay, Enyangi is a wedding.
So Chinyangi is many weddings.
It's many weddings.
Many weddings will be called, normal weddings will be called Chinyangi. Like here in the church, if they have so many weddings, we'll call it Chinyangi. So, Enyangi time for circumcision, for FGM. So I think actually I should be using FGM, not circumcision. Because I'm not talking about circumcision of men, I'm talking about FGM for girls. So Chinyangi is when they are supposed to show you the secrets of the culture, and they will bring something they do in the house, like a big pot, African clay pot, and a skin, a cow skin which has been made wet and it's elastic now, tied around like this glass on top and tied here. So you have a pot with something tied around here, and the sticks, one will be playing it like music, and somebody will be putting water and so they'll be singing a song. You who has been circumcised in another room, they'll be pretending that this is a snake to you. Oh, I cried. They will play the music and say, snake, that Regina did this something to me, something bad. Do you want to eat her? And the snake, they will play the music. The snake will say, yes, 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 yes. But the sound of the music. And when you are young, you're actually believing that it's a snake. My heart nearly came off. And then they reach a point where they want to pull you to go and see the snake, because they want to tell you that there was no snake. And you don't want, you are being dragged and you are screaming, holding walls. It's a bad one. Because there, everybody in the village who thinks they want to punish you, this is the day they will come and speak to the snake. By the way they were playing music, they will say, snake, I came here, Regina was supposed to do this, she never did. What do you want to do to her? Then they play music, eat her, the sticks. And you're just a kid. You're thinking there's a big snake in the next room.
Wow, why are they doing this, and why are they calling it as a wedding? Whose wedding is it?
Exactly. So the wedding is that. One of it is that snake, because they want to reveal to you that there's no snake, it's this thing. Afterwards, they will reveal to you and they will tell you, don't tell the other girls. So once you finished from circumcision, you never mention this thing to any other girl who is not circumcised. You're supposed to keep it a secret. Everybody should find it on their day.
Yeah, but what's the reason for them doing this?
I got no clue. These are traditions of men. This is now where
When you say traditions of men, do you mean human beings or you mean men?
I mean human traditions of people in the village. You know, this is the thing this is the thing we have to stop, me and you. These things must stop. Now, they may not do all those steps, but the cutting is still going on. There's no reason any girls should be cut. Yeah.
The second, the third, I think there is the fourth one. The fourth one is called coming out of the house.
Yeah, this is now when you are going to come out now. Because all this time...
For how long have you been inside the house?
We've been in the house maybe 3-4 weeks.
3-4 weeks?
Yeah, this is when they think that you have recovered. And when you're in the house, you don't go out through the door. You go through the window. You look, nobody's supposed to see you. You are smeared on ash from the firewood. Nobody should recognize you. This coming out is when you're going to be washed with soap and be given presents, new dresses, everything. Yes, I went through that. Because when those...
What do you mean being washed? You haven't been bathing for this long.
How do you bathe? You have a wound. There is no bathing. Yes, you can't bathe. Because you have a wound, there is no bathing. I went through that.
For 4 weeks, there is no bathing.
It's just washing hands and eating, and that's it. You don't bathe because you are smeared with ash. Sorry. You're smeared with ash. So people should not see. Even when you go through the window, you're checking. Is there anybody? Is there anybody? So you pop out if it is the toilet. You pop up and go into the toilet. And you know that in my family, we didn't have a toilet inside. Possibly not even the toilet outside. You're popping out to the grasses. But you must find a place where you can hide properly and do your toilet and run in through the window. People are not supposed to see you. You're covered in ash.
Well, I haven't thought about this thing in this intricate details because I have a feeling that I don't know, but it sounds like a very traumatic experience for a baby.
It is. In fact, when you're reading my book there, it's like tears were coming out. Whenever I read my book, there are parts of it that still sheds tears out. But I'm happy because that was a condition. I'm not there anymore. That was a condition. But my book is thoroughly emotional because those who are happening to people, not only me, they were happening to the other girls as well. And the belief was they did this out of love. But we know this is not love. But it was a traditional thing. They didn't do it to punish us. Because even our mothers were circumcised. They were born into that tradition. Isn't it?
I can imagine. You say that millions of Kenyans have undergone similar rituals to the ones I experienced as a young girl, pushed on by this driving force called tradition. This tradition cuts into our flesh like an army invading defenseless land, plundering through skin and tissue. Obviously, it was banned in Kenya through the Genital Mutilation Act of 30th December 2001 and 11. After this whole thing, I imagine that you healed. But what kind of healing are we talking about here?
You just healed. I mean, you continue healing. You're not healed fully. You continue healing. Some girls come when they're walking, they can't put their legs together, or when they put their innerwears, it's hurting them. So you're not really fully healed because there was no anesthetic, there was no antibiotics. So what kind of healing is natural healing? It's a terrible thing. It's still happening anyway. That's why we have now, I think all of us must be advocates of this thing. In Kisii, or in Kenya, we believe the only tribe that doesn't circumcise is Luos. And the fact that Luos don't circumcise, those who circumcise see that Luos are not enough. And it's just so wrong. Because the Luos don't circumcise, and that's the right, probably that's the only good tribe in Kenya now. Who doesn't do this thing? This is hurting people. This shouldn't happen. FGM should not happen. Period. It should not happen. And it's not only in Kenya. It's happening in Asia. It's happening in Europe. It's happening in South America, in Mexico. They do it different levels. Some of them do for the children when they're babies. Some of them do big people. Like here in Kenya, I think there are tribes which do men when they're very, well, I'm not talking actually about men's circumcision. There are people who do girls when they're big and some when they're babies. It's sad because I know this is a podcast, but I can't stand here and pretend because we had a baby die in England recently.
Recently?
Yes, from circumcision. But she was of the origin, I think, West Africa. People are circumcising people. Still.
So people leave.
People
leave Africa, go settle in the US, UK, Europe, but are still carrying those traditions all the way across high seas.
People are carrying those traditions. But however, we do have people like me who are circumcised in Africa, and I have my children in the UK. I don't do that because I've known that it's not the right thing to do.
Have you ever told them the story, your story? Your circumcision story, your girls?
My girls, yes. My daughter. My daughter knows, and there's no way she's going near the knife. No. When, our family in England, I've got my sister as well. There's no way we can put our girls into the knife. For what? They don't need to go through that. That's hurting, and that's why I'm here. It shouldn't happen. Yes.
When you make your way out of Kisii, tell me a little bit of that story of how you make your way out of Kisii.
Yes, out of Kisii, you know that I went to school. As I said, I went to school, but I was quite resilient, and we survived. My family was really poor, and it's not my family. I'm talking about generational poverty from my great-grandmother and great-great-grandmother. And so I decided that I must rise. I rose because I said I must rise. Then in school, it was very hard because in primary school, my first years, I was going to school barefoot, no lunch, nothing. And then my elder sister was educated by missionaries, and she went all the way to the university and did actually the Cambridge exam, and she was in newspaper. She did very well. So
your sister?
Yeah, my big sister.
Okay.
So after she did, she started now helping the family, started raising us up. We started now having a table where we can eat on the table. We now had a stove.
You never had a table?
We never had a table. We never had a stove. We never had chairs. We sat on those, when you cut a tree?
Stumps.
Stumps, yeah. We sat on stumps, yeah. We slept on the floor. We had no table to eat from. We had no blankets. We had very thin materials that would cover ourselves, and we would put sacks, size of sacks, on top to be warm. The earliest the house I remember in my family, I could look up at night when we have the moon, or yes, when there's a moon, and I could see the moonlight coming in. Moonlight came in. Sometimes I could see the stars from where I'm sleeping. That is the kind of background I come from.
Seeing the sun? Well,
So-
I want to tell you something, Regina. I always consider myself to have come from poverty, but I never saw the moon. I never saw the stars. Because if you're seeing the stars and you're seeing the moon, it means you're also seeing the sun, but you're also seeing the rains. Right?
That rain, when it rained at night, we were in the house, we would run around with containers and where the house is leaking, because it was a grass house. My mom and my dad, they didn't have enough money to touch the house properly. So we would be fetching water in the house so that the water does not spread all over the floor. That's where I come from. You know what? I'm successful now. So that is where I come from. You could see those stars. Yeah. So from there, when my sister started supporting us, I went to primary school. I finished primary school at the age of 17 years. I was 17 years because we didn't have school fees. Sometimes
That's late.
absolutely late. I don't know how I made it anyway, but the whole thing turned 17 years. Then I went to secondary school. I finished secondary school and went to sixth form. And from there, I left the country through a scholarship.
A scholarship. Hey, I read your story about you leaving Kenya for the first time, and it was very interesting. I don't know which chapter that is. Do you know that chapter? Gosh, every time I see that picture of yours, you look like an African American woman. That is the chapter of going to Morocco, I think, is in page 156. Yes. I want to read something to the audience, which is very interesting.
Okay.
Which is very, very interesting. People of the internet, I think this is one of the books that I've really, really, really loved. I was at a lunch meeting with somebody, and I was reading through it while we were waiting for them. Yes. And they were wondering, what book are you reading? And I was telling her that Regina Williams, and every time somebody sees Regina Williams, they think that it's somebody.
Yes.
It is some sort of an American somewhere.
No.
I want to check where that thing is, but I don't see it now.
Originally, I was Regina Mageto.
Regina Mageto. I like the Mageto name, yeah.
Mageto was my dad's name.
Regina Mageto. Anyway, I can't find it because it is saying you are describing you being in the plane.
Yes.
And just seeing everything, and you are loving it because I remember the first time I also got into a plane, it was that beautiful. Actually, I was going to the UK.
Yes.
My first time outside Kenya was going to the UK.
Yes.
I lived at the Trafalgar Square. You know the Trafalgar Square?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I will never forget.
Yes.
And when you were talking about you going to Morocco, I could feel I felt you.
Yes, yes. So the first time I had this scholarship, and
how did this scholarship come about?
I just my nephew saw an advert on the newspaper after my Form 6 because I didn't qualify to Nairobi University. I missed a few points to go. I was going to study medicine, and so I was home. In Kiswahili, we say nilikuwa nimeboeka. So my nephew saw this thing and said, "Auntie, why can't you apply for this?" And I looked at it. It was a scholarship to go to Poland to study pharmacy. And I just applied and put the application in and quietly. And after a few weeks, the results came out from Jagero House.
Yeah.
That I've been given a scholarship to Poland. Wow. I was over the moon. I'm telling you, it's over the moon. I didn't get it to Nairobi University, but now I'm going to Poland. Then after some time, that scholarship was changed from pharmacy in Poland to medicine in Casablanca. My family was disappointed because Poland sounds
sounds very European. Sounds winter.
Yes. But me, Regina Williams, having suffered circumcision, which I didn't tell you that I cried, that cry was a taboo in the community. And, all people were bullying me at the river and everywhere. So when I got a scholarship, and I had not got to Nairobi University, I was so happy. I didn't care where it was going to. They were not happy, and I couldn't wait to leave to go to Casablanca. That's how I got it. And then it was changed to medicine. Started getting the passport, everything.
This is the government doing all these things for you?
The government. It was kind of like a link between, I think it was a political link between Kenya and Morocco.
Okay.
Yeah, exchange of students or something like that. So, but it was a government scholarship that took me out of my country here. So I went to Casablanca, and there I studied French for 1 year before going to the School of Medicine. And I passed the School of Medicine. And but anyway, the excitement I wanted to tell you, which you had when you went to London.
Yeah.
Up there in the clouds, I was so happy to see the River Nile. Because
did they tell you that it was the River Nile? How did you know it was the River Nile?
I asked the person next to me, what is this? It's the River Nile. We've done these things in geography when we were studying, and then the desert. Wow. When you see that desert the first time, and the Alps, I was just so happy. I was going.
All right, people of the internet, I hope that you're enjoying this episode very much. And I just had a break to tell you about my new book. You know, everybody says that there is no job, and that is true. Also, that was me 10 years ago. The problem is that everybody is trying to get a job in their town, in their city, in their marketplace. They ask friends for jobs, mothers call uncles, uncles call brothers, but there are no jobs. Let me tell you what no one is telling you. Jobs migrated online. What I actually mean is there are many, many jobs around the world and there is no one to do them except you. I work for Americans myself. I work for Europeans. I work for the Chinese. I work for the Australians. I work for the Canadians. And so, because I have done so much for myself, I said to myself, you know what? I should compile what I've been doing for the last 15 years. So in 2024, I wrote a digital book called Goldmine 18 Hustles for Africans. And then in 2025, AI came. People say AI is taking away our jobs. And for me, I'm going to say false. There are actually AI jobs. Jobs are not being taken by AI, but there are new jobs online that are there because of AI. Now, mimi ni nani? I created more jobs. And for now, in my new book, we have 25 online and offline jobs that you can leverage on if you do not have a job. So in this powerful volume 2, I share 25 new actionable online hustles specifically researched and tailored for Africans. My new book provides clear step-by-step guidance drawing from my extensive experience and research, including the mistakes I've made and lessons I've learned over the 15 years that I have worked online. So what can you do online? You can become an executive assistant for busy folks in Europe, America, Canada, and get paid for tasks like watching videos and taking online surveys. Okay? You can build a lot of things. Build a business as a virtual assistant, start an e-commerce shop without capital, be an affiliate marketer, or you can also become actually an English tutor and tens of AI jobs. If you have a job, that is fine. But I also know that you can buy this book for that brother, for that sister, for that mother, for that cousin, for that husband who is watching Netflix all day at home. Buy it for your friend who is always asking for cash. You know that friend. Now, all the information is on the description below. You can also inbox me, you can WhatsApp me, or go to my website, which is jagero.co.ke. You were supposed to go there for how long? As you leave Kisii,
Kitutu, West Kitutu. I was going there for maybe 5 years, the course of medical school, and come
Were
back.
you supposed to come back?
After-
in between?
In between, no. Who's going to give you the ticket to come in between? You know, my ticket to go was not through the government. The government gave me just a scholarship. I had to find the ticket myself. And the way I got the ticket.
You were supposed to find the ticket by yourself?
Yes. And God bless Professor Sam Ongeri.
Sam Ongeri. I saw him in a rally the other day.
I want to see them there because I called him actually 2 years ago just to thank him. Because when I got this, Sam Ongeri was in Jagero house. I think it was in the whichever ministry it was, but because we were living in Masaba, we had moved from my homeland in Kisii town and we were living in Keroka. So when I got this scholarship, no ticket, nothing, I went to the MP's office. I said, help me, please. I don't have this. You know, I went to Jagero house. I saw Sam Ongeri. I was lining there and I told him I've been given a scholarship. I have no ticket, money for the ticket. He said, come the following day. The following day, when I went there, Professor Sam Ongeri, he was a very new MP. I think he was around 50 years old. He came through the door. We were just lining up there, all the people waiting to see the MP. And I remember, it will never part from me. Sam Ongeri coming in and he told the people, he took me out of the queue and said, let me sort this girl. At that time, he called me a kid. Let me sort this kid because she's going out to study. Because some people from Masaba had come to ask him to find them jobs in Nairobi, even sweeping roads. So he picked me, said, no, this one is going to do something. Do you know, when he took me in his office, there was a whole boardroom of Kisii MPs. I left Kenya in style, I have to say. And God bless them, some of them have passed away. There were people like Andrew Manga, Nyamweya, Sagini, all of them. They raised my ticket instantly. I feel like I just feel like my body is just going like, these MPs raised my ticket. And what I thought was a big weight on my shoulders, it went. So they gave me money for the ticket, and Sam Ongeri asked, do you want anything else? I said, no, this is more than enough. Leaving that office, I was a different thing. I didn't even know how to cross the roads in Nairobi that time, because the first time I came to the city, that's how I got the ticket. I never got it from the government. So I was happy. After those skies, I had a stopover in Rome.
You know, that was something very interesting to me when I read that in your book, because I don't think that is the way we go to Casablanca these days.
No.
We don't go all the way to Europe and then to...
Yes, I don't think we do that. I don't know whether you do that, but I've never gone to Morocco from Africa. This time I passed Rome, and from Rome the following day to Casablanca. I didn't go straight from Kenya to Casablanca. It's through Rome, and had a stopover in Rome, and the following day, another plane to Casablanca. And I was in Rome. I wrote a card to my sisters.
I didn't understand that you writing a card to your sister.
Yes.
Where was she?
Home. This big sister now who helped us. You know, I couldn't believe.
She was in Rome.
No, she was in Kenya. I wrote a card home before I can arrive in Casablanca. To tell them in Europe soil.
Regina, Regina.
You know that poverty, you know when you come from poverty, even stepping on the soil in Europe, it was a big thing for me. I said, I'm writing a card and I'm sending.
Well, what did you know about Europe, Regina, before you went there?
I didn't actually know so much, but I knew I was in Europe. I was out of Africa. And that was kind of emotional as well, but I needed to go.
There's a gentleman that you met in Rome, in Casablanca, with whom you've taken a picture. Who is the guy? There's a guy that you've taken a picture with in Casablanca, right?
Yes.
What is his name?
His name is William.
Yes.
William Ngeno.
Yes.
William Ngeno, I met him in Jagero house.
Okay.
I met him, we were students, both of us. And we were going at the same time.
To the same thing?
No, he was going to do international relations.
But for him, why was he at Jagero house?
He was also progressing his paperwork. So I met him actually in the lift.
Oh, okay.
I didn't expect you to ask me this because it's quite emotional.
But
No, because it was only yesterday I went to Jagero house after 40 years.
40 years?
And the place where I met my first lover in Jagero house. I met William in the lift. He was coming down, I was going up. Nothing clicked. But we exchanged, he was with his dad. We exchanged that we were going to Morocco. He told me he has finished doing his paperwork and he's going a day before me. So when I went, William was already there. When things didn't work, William came back home and I went to England. And William passed away. So it was emotional yesterday for me to go to Jagero house.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
How was it like, the weather in Morocco, Casablanca?
Yeah, it's warm. There is a time when it's summertime, and there is a time when it's very cold as well.
It is very close to Spain.
Yes, there is a time when Morocco is extremely hot, and there's a time when it's just cold, and you have to put 2 trousers. Yeah.
Like, does the weather become like the one in Spain? Because they are very close.
They are very, very close, yes. Some parts of Morocco is very dry because, it's in a desert. The part of Morocco is a desert. Like Marrakech, part of Marrakech down is a desert kind of, yeah.
But what do they eat? How do they get their food? The people in Morocco, because it's likely a desert.
I think there is a agricultural products are very good in Morocco. When I was there, the food is the money that you need to have. Money is a problem in Morocco. But they have potatoes, carrots, they have food, they have bread, they have food. They have food, they do farming. And I think the Morocco is a little bit ahead in terms of the way they do things, because even when I was there, they had trains already. We still don't have very fast trains here in Kenya. And now Morocco has got one of the fastest trains in Africa. It's building the biggest bank in Africa as well. Morocco is going forward really very fast. I went there after 34 years. I couldn't imagine the progress I saw in Morocco. They have a train, which is almost like the trains in London, going fast. You can come from Nairobi.
Bullet trains.
Yeah, from here to Kisumu, from a town called Tetuan in Morocco to Marrakech, maybe in 2 to 3 hours, and you're there. But that's a long distance. Yes, long distance trip. Yes, yeah.
When you say things did not work in Morocco, did not work for you or did not work for William?
No, they didn't work for all of us as students because of the Gulf War. There was a Gulf War in 1990, and we were advised by the British consulate to leave. That's how we left.
The Gulf War?
Yeah.
So you leave. Why are you not coming back to Kenya? Why are you taking off to United Kingdom?
Are you younger than the World War? Let me ask you.
I think so. When was they?
I think you're young. 1990 was the Gulf War.
No. I think I was about 6 years old when it happened.
How old?
6 years. I think I was about 6 years old when it happened.
So when it happened, there was the political climate in the Maghreb countries. The Maghreb countries are those kind of like Arab countries of North Africa. So when something happens in the Middle East, it affects those parts of Africa as well. So this 1990 war affected us, and we were advised to leave the country by the British consulate because...
Why the British consulate?
Because we were represented by the British consulate. We didn't have a Kenyan embassy. Because Kenya was a British colony. So
when are you in Morocco?
1988 to 90.
Yeah, but we had independence then, Regina.
Yes, we have. But even today, if we have a country, if we are somewhere as Kenyans, and you don't have a Kenyan, if we are somewhere as Kenyans and you don't have a Kenyan embassy, the next place you should go is the British embassy. Because even today, if you are in a place where Kenyan embassy is not there, we are represented still by the British. Because we were the British colony. So if as a Kenyan you are somewhere and there's no Kenyan embassy and you have problems, the first place you should go is the British embassy.
Oh, I see.
Because of the history, the colonial history. Yeah.
Okay, so when I imagine that when things go haywire because of the Gulf War, you should come back to Kenya. Why do you take off to the United Kingdom?
Hey, come to Kenya to do what? I couldn't come because, as my book said, I come from extreme poverty. And now I have not finished my studies. Where do I go? I didn't have anything again in Kenya to come and do. Number one, I didn't qualify to Nairobi University. I was lucky enough to find a scholarship. I have studied medicine. I'm in the second year. Things are not working, and I'm told to go home. I tell you why that's very important. This is when you think and find a way for yourself, find a door. This is when you approve yourself and give yourself permission to do something.
Anyway, tell me this story. How do you start the process? Can you get this gentleman, Opunga, to come and look at the cameras? How do you? At what point do you guys decide that we need to leave? We need to leave not to Kenya but to the United Kingdom. I mean, how do you start doing this? Anyway, tell me the story of
Sorry, I've got to tell you the story because this is why I'm here to inspire people, including yourself. Yeah. You know that I come from extreme poverty. Kenya was not an option for me to come back because I didn't have anything for me here. So I had got a letter of somebody in England who I never knew.
You got a letter from them?
No, I had been given information about these people.
Okay.
A letter of that so-and-so is in England, so-and-so is a Kisi person, and if this is a Kisi person, they can help you. So I called them. I said, can I come? They said, yes. I don't know them, but they were known by somebody who was a friend of my family. And even though they said yes, it was not going like, let me go and they helped me with school fees or something. I knew that I was coming here to create a route for myself to England. My aim was to study, nothing else. And because I was doing medicine in French, I knew that if I'm in England, where they speak English, I will study. I knew I would study and then go back to Kenya. I came from extreme poverty. I can't just go home. By the way, I was 3 months pregnant as well. When I left, that's even more reason why I said, my family is going to find me, I'm pregnant. I have no qualification yet. When you go abroad here in Kenya, what's expected when you come back?
You're expected to come and put everybody on your shoulders.
Exactly. Now I didn't have shoulders. I didn't have shoulders to put anybody. I said, now let it be. Whatever will be, let it be. So I came to England, 3 months pregnant. It was difficult.
Who gave you the air ticket this time around? Ungeri is in Kenya, remember?
Yes, Ungeri is in Kenya. This time, we saved money from our bush, and there is another person who was helping us with some little pocket money from the United States. So and I got that.
You were very connected, girl.
Yes,
you were very connected.
It went straight into the ticket. And at the airport, me and William were sitting there after discussing what to do next.
William was a Kisi too.
Kalenjin. Yes. Me and William sat and said, now what shall we do? And
are you pregnant with William's child?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We know now we are pregnant as well. But, that time things were not as difficult as they are, even in England. We knew that we can study and go back home.
Okay.
So William had been to Europe. He had been to Europe in the Spanish farms, working, making money during the holiday and come to Morocco. You can cross.
Tell me something.
Yeah.
Those days, it was easier.
Oh my God, it was so easy. Spain, you could go there and live there forever. Kenyans never needed a visa to go to Spain. Immigration has changed because people have abused the system.
People have abused the system.
Yes, people have abused the system. We Kenyans, going to Spain from Morocco, we could just cross over and go. Work in the farms, pick the oranges, the apples, everything. Student jobs, make money because life was difficult financially in Morocco. So William said, okay, now we are here. What shall we do? We discussed that evening and William said, you go first. And I said, because you are pregnant, go first. And I could see fear in his face as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, yes, I will go. And he said, I'm going to Spain, I'm making money and I'll come and join you. Wow. When we bought that ticket and I was coming, and when we said bye at the gates, none of us dreamed that was going to last like nearly 10 years. Again, we never saw each other.
10 years?
Yes. I don't want to talk about this really because William has passed. But when he came to Britain, he was deported. Because I had moved from the host family. When the host family realized I was pregnant, obviously it's a big responsibility.
For them, yes.
Yes, they told.
These are the cases that you told, can I come?
Yeah, a Kisi man and his wife was white. So they said, yeah. I was just passing through them. And so when William came, I'd left their home, now to the city of London, which I know nothing.
Because your benefactors now are saying this is a big responsibility and we can't cope.
Yes, and they were right. How are you going? You don't know somebody. She's pregnant. I can understand. She said, they told me the only option is going to Kenya.
They wanted you to go back to Kisii.
Yes. The people in England, they told me the only option, the white lady told me, the only option, Regina, is to go back to Kenya. And I said, I didn't tell her my mind. I said, fine. And then I prepared myself. I said, listen, I had come with one girl from Morocco to London. For her, she went to London because she had siblings that she has also never met. Her siblings were from Zambia. Their dad was Zambian. Their mom was a Kikuyu lady here in Kenya. So she was going to meet them. The girl was a Kikuyu for the first time. So for her, she went to London, and I went to Nottingham to these people. So when they told me this, I was looking for this girl in London because the girl knew I was pregnant as well. I came to London. I met her. Me and her, we are almost on the streets because we were eating the food of those siblings from Zambia. Their pocket money students. And I mean, I'm pregnant.
I have to ask.
Yes.
What is the government of England saying?
What's England supposed to? That time, there is nothing because you don't have recourse to public funds. You are not their person they are supposed to support. There is nothing the government of England can do even today. If you go there and you don't have papers, that's it.
You didn't have papers?
No, but I mean, I had a visa, of course. I was not an illegal person.
Yes.
I had a visa. If you go to England, you have a visa 6 months. Yeah, automatically. But that doesn't mean England is going to support you money-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they're going to take care of you and your child.
No, nothing. Nothing. And
okay.
And that time, having come from a Christian background, I knew that the church, whether it's in England or Kenya, the church will pick me up. I belong to the church from Kenya.
Okay.
We had come from the church, and I knew any church I step in, they will. I had faith. I was resilient. Nobody could break me. The church started helping us.
You went to them?
I found this girl has also joined the church. Because me and the girl, we didn't have money, both of us. So she had joined the church where the siblings used to go. So I joined them. So from there, the pastor said, ask the sisters in the church to look after me. I could go from one house, from one sister to another, from one sister to another.
You were pregnant?
Yes, they were sisters from Caribbean, Jamaicans. The people who helped me in England, they are not Africans. They are not from Africa. They were Caribbeans. This was a West Indian church. They helped me until the baby was born. In my mind, I knew I must study. I must find a way to study. I am not here to sit and do anything other than I'm going to pick up my studies and study. So anyway, I had the baby, and when the baby was born, I was trying to look for William in Spain. We don't have a phone. We don't have even Google. We don't know anything. So I had given him the address where I went. But when he gave that address to the immigrations, those people said I've left. Immigration was nice as well. They didn't deport him straight. They gave him 3 days to look for me so that he can join me. He couldn't find me. So they said, now we can't release you. To where? Go back to Kenya. That's how he was taken back to Kenya. And he stayed there, and I stayed in England. Yeah.
William came back to the family.
Yeah, William came back to the family.
Without education.
Without education, but he got a job in Central Bank. He was working in Central Bank until he passed away. He had a big job in Central Bank. Yeah. So then I came to see William after 9 years. When my son was 9, our son was 9 years. It's when we came to Kenya. Because also in England,
you had gone to school now.
I've gone to school. I've gone to school now, and I'm in real good shape.
You've got a job?
Yes, I've got a job. I've even become a politician. Wow. When I came back, it was great to bring my son home at the age of 9 years to meet his father and his grandparents. And, it was an emotional thing. But all the time we continued talking, me and William continued talking. But, life took its own. Romantically now, he went somewhere and I went somewhere. And so even when I came home, it was just this life. Sometimes what you thought was forever became the beginning of something different. That's how my life happened.
How old is your boy now?
He's 34 years. Yeah.
A big guy.
He's big. I'll show you his picture. He's a big boy.
What does he do in England?
He's in Dubai.
He's in Dubai?
Yes. He's gone from England to Dubai. He's now Dubai. He's a big boy in Dubai. He's got his own company in Dubai.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Big up to him. What is his name? Are you at liberty to say his name?
It's Emmanuel Williams. Yes.
Okay. Great.
So that is how the twist became.
But then you meet your current man.
Yes, then I met my current partner, and so even we went back home and we met all of them. We met William and with him as well. There is a level of understanding people have to have. Yes, and so now we have a beautiful daughter as well, who is 23, and I think all is good. And
so you have 2 kids.
I have 2 children. Yes, Emmanuel and Jennifer.
What is she studying? The girl.
The girl. She did experimental psychology from Oxford University.
Oxford.
Yes.
Ooh, Oxford.
Yes.
See?
She is an Oxford champion. Yeah, she's good.
Experimental psychology.
Yes.
That's very interesting.
She's a very clever girl, and she doesn't like me talking about her. So this bit we will cut it when we're doing media. She doesn't like people knowing about her.
Yeah, but we haven't said her name.
Yes, she did experimental psychology, and she got a 2-1. To get a 2-1 from Oxford, nobody gets 1-1.
She got a 2-1.
2-1 from Oxford, and
that's big.
That's big, because when she did her 6th form, she was above what is called A-stars. Above A-stars. She's a very clever girl.
Yes, so I'm only a village. I don't understand much of what you're talking about right now.
Don't worry. You know what you're doing here as well?
Yeah.
They can't do it. She can't do it. This is what I tell people. Everybody's got a talent. Yes, your talent is your talent. But these days, people start copying other people's talents and they leave theirs dying. You have to follow your talents. Like this one of yours is your talent. You hold it tight. But if you start looking at his talent, then you have left your candle going off.
Yeah. That's it's a beautiful journey that you've done. And how old are you now?
I will be 64 in April.
64 in April.
Yes, yeah. And I didn't know my age.
What do you mean you didn't know your age?
I didn't know my age because my passport says I'm 1965 born, but actually I was born 1962. Because my dad had a notebook which he put all dates of birth. He's the one who was learned. He's the one who went to school, Kissy High School.
Kissy High School has been there for that long?
It's been there for long. Yeah, my dad was among the first people there with Andrew Manga. Those were my friends of my dad. My dad even worked in East African Tobacco during the time of Andrew Manga. Anyway, so he had a little notebook. He wrote all our dates of birth. And I think when our first house burnt, my dad is the only one who used to write it, and he used to put it behind his coat. A little notebook.
And that's how it survived.
His iCloud was in his chest.
His iCloud was in his chest?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that book burned. The rest of the people knew their date of birth. I didn't know mine for a long time. But the way I took 1965 is because I was the oldest in class. When the time came for IDs, I said, I don't know my date of birth, what am I going to do? Let me say the 25th of December, 1965, just to lower my age as well, to suit the class when I was in Form 4. So I continued to that date. Until in England, when I told my kids, this is not my date of birth. I need to know my date of birth. Then I went to Kissy because my parents were Christians. And they would baptize a child after 1 month. So I went to the Catholic mission where we were baptized. I started looking at the books from 1960 because I knew.
Starting looking at books?
I started opening all the books to see who was baptized this month, who was the name, who was what. It was a project. And then.
You got it?
1962. Regina, Gesare, Mageto. Oh! Hey.
Really?
Oh, I swear, I just made a call to England. I said, now, today is the day. Was
there a date and a month? There was a date and a month?
A date and a month. 24th of April 1962 is my date of birth. And I'm so proud of that now. Note this thing in my passport. My passport today still is 1965. I have even come to Kenya here trying to change. But I was told it's going to be a big project. Changing everything, plus my children's date of birth and everything. In fact, when I came here in Kenya, I was advised that you are 3 years younger. Leave it. Just go on. But I've told my family when I die, on the tombstone, they're going to put 1962, not 65. Because I'm not 1965. So I was very happy. And when I knew my date of birth, I was actually 54 years. That is when I knew my real date of birth.
You knew your date of birth when you were 54 years?
You know, when I was 54 years. So all these years I've been doing the wrong thing. Yes.
What do you do now? Because now we are coming to the end of this conversation. I love this book. People of the internet, look at that book. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
It's really beautiful. I have a feeling that it's your daughter that was telling you to post like this.
No, darling, I did it myself. I did it. I did it, and it has become my... It has become my brand or trademark.
Be motivated and be inspired by blessed struggles. You know, my journey from extreme poverty in Kenya to professional and political success in Great Britain. You've been a politician?
You know, I'm Regina Williams. I am the global voice of resilience. I'm the founder of a company that I formed, Global Voice of Resilience, and I am Regina Williams, the first Kenyan black female elected politician in Great Britain. That was the year 2000 to 2010. I was a politician.
2010?
Yes, I was the first elected to be a councillor in London. Yes.
Beautiful.
So, and then my book, when I wrote this book, because I wrote it to show people that you can actually succeed from extreme poverty, from any challenges, you have to decide yourself. My book became Amazon #3 bestseller in the category of British political autobiography. In the category of British autobiography, I became that. So that was a milestone. That's history for Kenya. That is pure history for Kenya. To be #3 after Winston Churchill.
After Winston Churchill?
Yes. This is something I'm saying. This is what you use. This is Kenya now. This is not just Regina. My book became #3 when it was just released to Amazon. It became #3 under the category of British political autobiography.
Amazing achievement.
Yes, and then 1995 to 97, I was in a class studying a master's degree in AI.
In
1995-97, I did a master's degree in AI.
Was there AI then?
Exactly. There was no AI. But this is when people were looking on how AI can come up, eliciting knowledge and engineering knowledge.
Artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence. In 1995-97, a master's degree from Middlesex University.
So tell me, Regina, what are some of the units that you guys were learning in as far as AI is concerned?
Knowledge elicitation and knowledge engineering. How do you put all the knowledge that now we are using to be in the way it can be used in the future, and the years and the years and the years to come? I was the only woman there, the only black person in that class of 9 men doing knowledge engineering, artificial intelligence, 1995, 1997. I was so hungry for education when I left here because of the poverty.
You did not tell me how you registered in school during your pregnancy and so on and so forth. You remember you left that out?
Yes, I can tell you that after the child was born. You mean in England?
Yeah.
After the child was born,
Where were you living with the child? With the nuns?
But this time now, I have gone into the British system because, again, it was strange because I was advised by a member, a prayer group member, and he was a policeman. He was a white policeman, an Englishman. when we are praying for my baby to get milk, to contribute money for milk, he said, no, Emmanuel was born here. You don't need somebody to contribute money for him. He's entitled to milk. God bless England. This I always, God bless England. Every child born in England is entitled to milk. We were suffering at that time. That policeman saved us. So I started getting the money for the baby, and then finally we are getting money to support ourselves, and finally we have got a house of our own instead of people's houses.
This is paid for by the government?
Yes, because we were kicked out from one house to another. It just became too much. After 2 to 3 years, I went to the government and said, listen, what is going on here now? What do you do for people like me? And so I got into the system. But how I got into studies, this is again something this is again making a door, making a way for yourself. When there is no door, you must try to do something. You can't wait for people to do it for you. They won't know where you are. I was just walking with my son on one of the streets, and I saw on the window an advert. It was saying, come to Middlesex University. Within 3 years, you have a degree. I looked at it. I said, Regina, you are going to study medicine for 5 years or 6, 7. This one is 3 years and I have a degree and I'm off to Kenya. Or I've got a job. So with a pushchair, I went into that job center. I said, can I have a phone number for these ones? These adverts, they gave me. Following day, I called the university. I said, I would like to do this IT course. They said, come for an interview this time. I'm still asking myself, yes, I know. They might give me, but I have no money. Because at that time, I've not qualified for a grant in the UK. So I just went with my baby on a pushchair. I did the interview. I was given a place. After I was given a place, I started thinking, now, where is the money? I said, I'm going to study. I know how to study. So I went to the student union. And I said, what do you do for people like me? I got a place. I got no money.
You're always saying, what do you do to the people like me?
Yes.
I like that one. I like what do you do to the people like me?
Yes. And she was a beautiful girl, and her name was Paula. I never forget. I wish I could know where she is. You know what? She was a women's officer. Paula now got down the keyboards, looking for charitable organizations. And I got charitable organization to support my school fees, my tuition kind of thing, because I never got a grant to study in the United Kingdom.
This is which year that you're trying
This
to
is
get
1992. I have entered Great Britain in 1990. And by 1992, I'm in the university.
Who remained with the kid when you are going to the university?
Most of the time, I took my baby with me on the pushchair. I had nappy sander and books. And I would take my baby to the university crash. In London, you've been there, you can see those trains. You see somebody with the books and a child. 3 years, I graduated with my child. Drop the baby in the morning in the crash. Pick another bus, one stop down to the lecture rooms. When we have lectures in different buildings, I'm going. But in the evening, it used to be rush. Because the child care center is closing at 6. I would pant like a dog. But once I've picked the child, now we are good, we are going. But when it's raining, I'm on my coat. The pushchairs, they normally have rain covers. You cover the nappies behind, you're going to the train station. All those escalators, 3 good years. I'm here to inspire Kenyans. I'm here to inspire Kenyans. I'm not here for nothing.
3 years with a child?
Years. Yes, with a child to university every morning. So what time, when we come in, I was single. What time do I start getting the baby ready? We eat, the baby goes to bed, clean, bath, or read a story for a baby or something, and then go back
the crash is for learners with babies?
Yes, where they can come and put their kids and go to.
Who is looking after them?
There are people, childminders in the crash who look after them. So I was lucky because my son was very friendly with other kids. Once I've dropped, he's going there. He's just happy to meet his friends. But the other moms drop the child, start crying. and they go to class miserable because they have left a baby crying in the class. So in that aspect, my child was good. But it started coming home. I always say, when you're a single parent, whether you're a mom or a dad, it's double strength. You have to have a double strength. And you can't sit back and be crying, oh, I'm a single parent, or I don't have a family in Great Britain, or I'm lonely. These are the things I'm telling Kenyans. Because those things will pull you behind. You'll never do anything. You got to carry your mantle and run. I always give people examples of women who have done great things in the past. There was one called Harriet.
Harriet Tubman.
Harriet Tubman. Aha. What did she do? Thank you. Underground tunnel to rescue from slavery. Mary Siko. She was refused a job because she was a black person. She offered to go and help servicemen in Crimea. What did she do? She used her own funds. She went there and helped. So we must make doors where there's no door. We must make our own doors.
It's been really amazing talking to you. I really love this conversation.
Thank you.
I really, really love this conversation. How do people buy this book? Where have you put them? At Nuria?
The book is in Nuria, and I'm on a tour right now. I'm motivating schools in Kenya.
Oh, where are you going?
I've been to Kipsigis girls and Saseta girls, and I'm hoping to go to the 10 boys because I just want to inspire young kids. I went there. Our
Can I see this one? This one is the paperback.
This is the hardback, which I travel with always to show people. That's the hardback.
Oh,
and you can see it's different because this printed in Kenya, this one, the one I gave you. It's printed in Kenya. If you see even the paper, they don't have that paper. The paper in mine, that's mine from England. This one from Kenya, the one you have, they don't have the same paper.
The same paper. I see, yeah.
They don't have the same paper, but the book is in Nuria bookshop now. You know, whoever wants a book, they can get that book from Nuria's bookshop.
Okay.
Yes.
Amazing. So, and if they want to hook up with you, talk to you, where do they go to? They go to your website, blessedstruggle.co.uk.
Yeah, blessedstruggle.co.uk, or my Instagram or my Facebook. You know, all those, they can get me there. Reggie Williams, that's my Amazon. Sorry, my Facebook, and Reggie Williams is, Williams Reggie is Facebook, I think. And Reggie Williams is in Instagram. So I'm just there, you know. People can always get.
It's very interesting that you never got a British accent. Your accent is still Kenyan.
I am a Kenyan. That's why I'm born and bred here, you know. You know. So.
Expected you to come speaking through your nose.
No, I actually think that through the nose is people who live in America.
And the British people, they've got a very serious accent.
Is it?
They've got a serious accent. I see people going to the UK for 4 years and they come back with a very good accent from England. But I guess your kids have got a complete accent for the.
My kids, you can't hear what they speak. When they come, even if we go to kiss or on the phone, like my son now, people have given up. They can't hear what he says. You know, like we live in East London where they say butter. They say bar.
Bar.
Yeah, something like this. And I'm like, hey, what's going on?
People of the internet, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For joining us today with Regina Williams. Thank you very much please consider subscribing to Dialogues with Jagero every time. You can always buy this beautiful book at Nuria Bookstore. Yes. Everybody knows Nuria Bookstore here. The moment you talk to Kenyans, tell them Nuria Bookstore. And is it on Amazon?
The book is in Amazon. This book is in Amazon.
Okay, so you can also, if you're watching us from outside Kenya, you can always buy it on Amazon. It's good. There is a Kindle version of it.
There's a Kindle version as well. I had copy and paperback.
Yes. Beautiful. Yes. So, people of the internet, thank you very much. Until another episode. Bye for now. you.